Good morning. Thank you once again. It's the start of a new week, and this is the G Spot Experience with your girl, Germaine Miller Summers. And I always forget to go live on Instagram. So give me a second because they never get the opening. We are live now on Instagram as well as my HOV Connect. Well, I'm sorry, HOV Publishing live on Instagram. We're also live on Facebook, my Jermaine Miller Summers Facebook page, and my YouTube, Hope of Vision Connect, the community platform on YouTube. And the numbers are growing, and I'm so grateful. But this is the G Spot Experience with your girl, Germaine. And today's topic, I have to tell you, I was so inspired by um, a guest on the Tamara Hall show that my husband said I had to watch, and he bought it up and played it for me. But today's coffee brew is about you can't stop. What is purpose to be? So everybody got their coffee? Do you have your tea? I know it's a little late for some and early for others, but make sure you have whatever it is you're drinking because this is a coffee break moment. 10, 15 minutes maybe. Sometimes it may go a little over depending on if the topic is good and I don't want to leave just yet, right? But today, let's get into this. All right, so you can't stop. What is purpose to be? I want that to marinate. Let that just stir up, okay, in that cup that you're drinking from. So, like we do, we take a pause, we pour into purpose. So, think about this. What God has authored, no man can erase. Delays, detours, and doubters can't cancel what's divinely assigned. So I hope you're letting this marinate. I hope you're letting this stir in, right? So trust that your purpose is preserved. But you first got to tap into what is your purpose, right? Because people are in search of purpose, what it is, and sometimes you don't even realize you're already living in it. Some people just wait for like this big explosion, like, that's it. Sometimes it's subtle, and you could be doing it every day, but it may not look like what you think it should look like. And we'll get a little more into that. But let's think about it. Trust your purpose is preserved, even when the path feels unclear. So so the Tamara Hall episode that my husband told me I had to watch was on Pinky Cole. Pinky Cole, for those that may not know, um, she birthed a business, a vision of hers called Slutty Vegan. And it was a chain. I believe she said she had 14 different locations. And the one thing, when I first heard her story, I'm using her as an example because when I say I was so inspired by her story on Tamara Hall's show. I had heard of her, I've heard of her story before, but I love her truth. I love her authenticity. I love how she just pours out her vulnerabilities, and there's always a message to it. She's always using her life, even if she's hit some hard times, bumps in the road, like she shares on the Tamara Hall show. But I love how she owns it. And don't get me wrong, it may not be easy getting to the place of owning it and then speaking your truth and taking your power back. But I just love how she's not afraid to show her vulnerability and express this is who she is. These are the pitfalls that were made. But you know what? On this encounter and on this journey, as she stated, she met God. Now, doesn't mean she hasn't met God before, but a lot of times we can get so caught up in the day to day of what we do that we tend to put God in the trunk. We take him from the driver's seat. Let's think about this. We take God from the driver's seat. When God is driving us, I gotta put y'all on pause for 1 second because this is a girlfriend I have to pick up. Hold on 1 second. Just bear with me. Think about those things I've been speaking about. Hey, you ready? Okay, I'm heading out shortly. Thanks. Bye. Sorry about that. I'm going to pick up one of my friends from an appointment. But let me just go back to this, okay? So, when we are in a place and we are tapping into vision and we are looking to birth vision, right? We are leaning, we're believing, and we're trusting God for helping us to birth that and get it into the marketplace or get insight. And what is it going to look like when it shows up in the world? Along our journey, once we hit certain places, we can let the very thing that God has given us, that vision, our purpose, the very thing He wants us to birth in the earth, that very thing, we can get so consumed and let it take us over that we forget it should not be the thing that takes us out of here. And so I'm saying that because we have to know, you cannot take and put the actual creator who's given you the ability, the know-how, the wisdom, the insight to be able to birth vision in the earth. You cannot then take him and put him in the trunk and think you're going to drive this vehicle and not hit some pitfalls, not hit some walls, not crash. And what happens when you look at her story, and the link is in the description for the Tamara Hall show with Pinky Cole. But when you look and listen to what she's saying, and she talks about having her encounter the you know you never want God the creator, you never want him to sit you down to get the rest that you need. you know when we think we got it all together, we're building these empires, we're making this money, we're doing all this stuff, but we forget the even purpose why he's entrusted us with it and what the bigger picture is. But she shares, and I don't want to tell the story, but it was so enlightening. And but she shares about her encounter when God had to literally cause her to pause and rest. Go back to the other coffee break when I talked about resetting, taking a pause to reset. um, and you should hopefully get to the place you do it on your own and don't wait for God to have to do it for you, because it may not feel comfortable, it may not be comfortable, and it could be very painful if God has to do it. She talks about God having to do it in order for her to get the reset, the rest, to focus, get clarity, in order for her to regain her power back, to regain her business back, and have clear view and direction for where she was going. Please make sure you click the link and just, it's in parts. So make sure you look at the whole Tamara Hall segment that Pinky Cole is a part, because there is another author that's in there, and her name is Dr. Lakeisha Hallman. If you have not heard about her book, No One is Self-Made. Build Your Village to Flourish in Business and Life. And that was the point that I wanted to make to this whole thing, because they were so connected, these two stories, that as me and my husband watched it, I got so overwhelmed, and I call it my G-spot moment. But I was having a G-spot moment because the things they were saying had aligned and resonated with me as a business owner, building my publishing company, building my village, my community. And the one thing is, being self-made, like Dr. Lakeisha said, you cannot do this on your own. You cannot. It took every single author that is a part of the HOV family that believed in my vision to help their vision become their reality. Let me say that again, because as you're building your community, right, and you're looking to align with certain ones that are meant and purpose to be a part of your community. It is one, identifying and knowing your vision, your purpose. Because what you will do, you will attract those to be able to plug into your vision and purpose, help you build that while their vision and purpose is being built also. And that's how I build. But my prayer is always, God, send in those that are purposed to be a part of this village, this community called Hope of Vision, you know? And and the thing is, he's doing just that. You know, you never know how God will open up opportunities. I had an opportunity to speak at an event this past Saturday, and you never know how God will sit you at a table with pretty much every piece that you have been looking for to be a part of your village and your community. That's so God. That's what he does. So you're never in this alone. Let me go back and just read to you again. It's in the description, but I just want to say it to you again. You can't stop what is purpose to be. So, what God has authored, no man can erase. Delays, detours, and doubters can't cancel what's divinely assigned. Hear me, what is divinely assigned. So I don't want you to fret and I don't want you to worry, because what God has purpose, no man can take that away. You can get in the way of yourself. You can allow others to get in the way of what God is trying to get from you. But remember, what God has divinely purpose, no one can stop that. Okay? And so trust your purpose is preserved. Even when that path feels unclear. So make sure you take a moment. Just click on the link and watch the whole segment, the whole show for Tamala Hall. And like I said, on YouTube, it's in segments, but please make sure you listen to the things that Pinky Cole has to say. Even if you have a business and you're going through some rough times, sometimes it's probably just saying, let me take a pause and let me reset and know that it's safe, especially when it's God ordained and God purpose. Get out of self's way and let God be God. He gave you the vision, so he's going to give you all that you need to make sure his vision goes forth through you. And today, this is our coffee break, so be encouraged. Be encouraged and check out some of the other ones, because the one thing that I realized watching that episode of Tamara Hall, everything that I have been fighting against, and one, having a platform going live, I fought hard for years against this. But everything just started falling into alignment. It aligned with what was being said. That really, I guess that's why I got so full and emotional, because God can speak through anyone and anything at any time. So once again, enjoy your coffee break and thank you so much. Hey, Leslie, thank you so much for tuning in, and let's build this community together, because what I have may be something you need. What you have may be something I can flourish and, take in and grow from as well. But let's build this community and let's just make purpose happen. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow on the G Spot Experience with your girl, Germaine. Bye now.